everybody, it's Unoriginal Artist here, and today I'm going to teach you a very small, quick little video for newer players who are just starting off and might not know how to make pottery or do some simple tasks that help around the village. So, a lot of new players, when they start playing, they say they don't know really what to do, they don't know how to be helpful, or they're worried about making a mess or making people unhappy. So I'm going to teach you a few simple things you can do when you're a little bit newer. So, you can ask around the village for where the axe is, and if there's no axe yet, ask for a hatchet, which you may have already learned in the past how to make from the tutorial. When you have the axe or hatchet, you can get firewood and start making kindling and stacking it in important places, like near the forge area or outside the kitchen. So you'll know it's the kitchen if there's an adobe oven, and you'll know it's the forge area when there's a forge. So you can basically just make and stack kindling in those areas. If you're a bit bored by that task, you can start making charcoal. There's two ways to make charcoal. You can add kindling to a stone furnace, 5 pieces of kindling, and let me show you how to make fire real quick. Let me get the fire bow drill too, in case there's no of that. Where did I put my bow drill? There's my bow drill. Alright. There are 2 ways to make fire. If the town you're in is a bit more advanced, they might have a flint and steel tool, which then you would use on a stone fireplace, or in general, just tinder directly on it, and then you add kindling to it. Or, let's say your town is still kind of new, you might need still a bow drill. Now, double check to make sure it's not a flint tipped bow drill like mine currently is, because when it's flint tipped, you won't be able to make fire with it. Then you need a flint chip to take the flint tip off, and then you have a bow drill. This flint tip here is for drilling holes into wheels and coconuts. So you need the flint tip off to make a fire. Just move that out of the way. I do have an old fire making video, but it's kind of old again. So, to make... Hi, cat. To make fire, you're going to need tinder, but you're also going to need a leaf, which most leaves, I believe all leaves actually, are found in the green biome off of almost any tree except juniper and pine trees. So, you just take the branch off, you click the tree, and then you have a leaf right here. So you'll need that leaf. I'm gonna go back to our area. Okay, so I'll do this real quick. So you're gonna need the bow drill on a long straight shaft, and you can see little smoke, a little dot. Use the leaf on it. So now you're holding an ember on the leaf. Then you add to the tinder. Then you get kindling. And you add and you have fire. And then you can go ahead and just add more to it to make it bigger. I don't suggest adding more kindling because when you add kindling, it turns into a large fast fire. By fast fire, meaning it's very, very hot, and it'll go out a lot sooner if you hadn't put firewood on it. So it's a little bit more of a waste, but considering that you get 2 kindling per firewood, It's not that bad. It's just, it's a lot hotter and it goes up faster, which usually the reason why we make a fire is because you need it for specific tasks. So, I just showed you how to make a fire in that way, and I'll just show you real easy how to make it in a stone fireplace, which, again, it's very easy. You just add kindling to it, get tinder from a tree, and then use the flint tool. You can also put kindling in it and then firebrand, I believe, as well, but I haven't really done it, but I'm pretty sure you can do it because I've seen other people talking about it before in the Discord. So once you have your fire, and the two separate ways that you can make charcoal is 5 kindling in here or 1 kindling in the kiln, the forge. Fire, add to that, close it, and it'll take a long time to make charcoal, and then firebrand on here. And almost always, if you're in a forge area, there's going to be adobe behind or near the forge. And then you just cover it up and you wait. So this will take a lot less time than this, but you'll only get 1 at a time. Again, this is more of a technology advancing type of thing. And this is just more of when you're starting off in the village. So you can go ahead and make a bunch of charcoal, and you can store charcoal in, I don't have a box over here because I never really need it, but you can store charcoal in small boxes like these. So in a wooden box. So there might be one near the forge already. If not, you could ask somebody to make one for you. And I could also show you how to make one. You can make rope from sheep wool. I'll show you that too. How to do it step by step. So once you get the sheep wool from the sheep, which is easily just find a fluffy sheep or feed it a full bowl of berries plus carrot, wait for it to puff up, use the shears on it, take the wool off of the sheep. There, and then, so what you're gonna need to do is find a drop spindle, use on the fleece, cut it with shear to get 2 balls of thread, use the shear on the thread to get a piece of thread, another thread, add together, you got a rope. Easy peasy, lemon-de squeezy. Do I have lemons? I have lemons. Lemon-de squeezy, you know? Okay, so now that we got that, this is just a box. Sometimes making boxes in newer civilizations might be something you can do. You just add this steel froe. I'm not going to teach you how to make it because this video is more for new players. So you add it to the log, you use the mallet, and then you have boards. After that, you just add the rope to it, and you have a place to store your charcoal with a basket. So making a bunch of charcoal near the forge area is something new you can do. You can make a bunch of kindling, as I showed earlier. Those are 2 things you can do that is relatively easy to learn, and it's a repetitive thing that'll help you learn how to use the controls in the game, because there's a lot of left and right clicking if you haven't enabled the key bindings in your settings, so you aren't using WASD yet, which you can do in settings, which I showed in another video. I think it was my last video, actually. How to survive in a seed, whatever it was. Alright, so other things you can do is, where do I, carrots, here we are. If your village doesn't have many carrots, or maybe even potatoes, corn, or wheat, those are good things that you can farm relatively easily. So I'm just gonna assume you don't know how to do that either. And I need a basket, which I left all the way over here. goes, apparently. Where's mine? So if you don't have a hoe, you know, there is another thing you can use. Because maybe the village that you're currently in is not very advanced yet. So they might not have steel tools. Here we are. You can go into this green biome here and you can find a sapling. This is a sapling. And you cut it down with sharpstone. That can be used as a primitive hoe for farming. It breaks really easy though. So we're just gonna I have watering buckets, but you're gonna probably need an actual bucket for water. Alright. So I'm gonna assume in the village that you're currently in, you probably only have buckets and such. So generally, you're gonna need, if your bucket is empty, double check to make sure it's actually empty, because when it's only partially full, there'll be still water underneath it here. So if you're trying to get water from places like a cistern, but nothing's coming out, it's because probably the bucket still has water in it. So cisterns here still hold water. This one, you can tell, is empty because there's no green on it whatsoever. You can tell that there's one bucket of water in here because there's this little patch of green at the bottom. It'll hold, I think, like 10 buckets of water, I'm not sure. And it'll be very green, just like how this well, which is full, is very green. So I'm just gonna see more green showed up. More green. I think that was like 7 or 8. So this is decently full, 7 or 8. And you can just take it out. You can tell it's full when blue shows up right at the top there, just like the bucket here. So then you're just gonna go ahead and start adding water to anything that's already planted. I have potatoes here, which you need a shovel, which is right there, to harvest potatoes. So I'm just gonna start putting these potatoes in here to put more dirt in a hardened row. You either add a worm, which is right, there's one right here, to the hardened row, which after a while dirt will pop up. I think it's like 5-10 minutes. I myself don't really care for using worms, honestly. I prefer just adding straight dirt because I'm impatient. So I have dirt. Where do I have my dirt? I have all my dirt over there. You just use a basket on a compost box if there is some. There's also another way to make dirt, which is a little less advanced, which is probably what happens in your village when you're still new. You're going to use a clay bowl on the fertile soil pile, right on a hardened row, and then you're going to either use the hoe or the skewer to make it ready. So I'm just going to show you that the skewer does indeed work. Use the skewer, which is the sapling that we got from the green biome, on the shallow tilled row. See, it does work. It will break after a while, especially if you pick a weak skewer. Preferably if your village isn't advanced, as mine don't use skewers, because skewers can be used like right here. You see this plant right here? It's a tomato plant. I'm gonna pick it and I'm gonna show you. See, skewers will be used for plants like tomatoes and a few other things. And when you use it for anything other than gardening, it'll immediately turn into a weak skewer, which means if we were to use it on a row, it will break right away, which will be slightly annoying. Not something like you'll really get in trouble for. It's just more of an annoyance rather than anything to be like actually mad over. So my carrots have been growing, doing well. So if you need more carrot seeds, which I really don't, but if you do, you want to leave the carrots alone after they've grown, and after about, I think it's like 5 minutes. I'm not 100% certain on the exact timer. It will turn into seeds, which then you can then pick and put into a bowl or a seed packet, which you need paper and glue for, which honestly I could probably just go make right away because I have a bunch of paper and glue, but whatever. In any case, I have this deep tilled row right now, so I'm going to get water and I'm going to put a potato, I'm going to put that potato in the bowl of water because this game does try to simulate real life to a degree, and in general, potatoes will generally start sprouting eyes in like kind of moistest environments. So after a few minutes, this potato will start sprouting eyes, and then we can cut it and plant it. So while that's doing that, I should probably go get myself a wild carrot. Oh, never mind. It already sprouted right away. So now we have this sprouting potato, which you then cut with... You can use knife or flint to cut it. So now it's split, add water, and you're going to have to wait a little bit, and then you're going to have to add more dirt. So I'm just going to go find myself a carrot. It's a little bit more important to try and eat your cravings, if at all possible, and I don't have any crabs, damn it. In any case, so I don't really need seeds, as you can see, so I'm going to pick these. However, if we left them for like 2-3 minutes or something like that, they'll turn into seeds, which you can pick and put in a bowl, as I said. So we're going to add dirt to these rows, and I'm going to use that. I hear my cat eating in the other room. Use the hoe because I'm just showing, not that important. If you don't have a hoe or a skewer, you can technically just go ahead and add dirt right to the row as well, but that's also a waste of dirt. Preferably, you don't have to do that, and it's a little bit wasteful. It really depends on the owner of the seed. If they have hoes lying around, it's just better just go ahead, use hoes or worms, because a lot of people prefer worms, which I really don't. I don't like having the worms all over the place. I consider it more of a clutter thing, and I don't like waiting. I am impatient. So go ahead and add seeds to them, and then you just water, pick or not pick, depending on what you want to do. So this is still growing. I still need more dirt for that, actually. Because once it sprouts, it needs another bowl of dirt to continue growing. Nope, like that. So see here, this is a potato plant. You can't do anything with it except the crafting guide says here, bowl of soil plus potato plant, mounded potato plants. So this one requires more action to it to grow, just like how the tomato plant does, because it needs a skewer after it's grown a little bit, which I will show that really quick, because why not? Hello, cat. Where do I even have my tomato seed? Add right there, water it. You remember, use the bucket. Whatever. It'll grow after a few minutes, a little bit, and then it'll need the skewer again. Alright, so that's another thing you can do is just farm potatoes, carrots. You can also do corn, which to get a corn seed, you either need to go to the yellow biome here and find a teosting, whatever it's freaking called, which that's how you first get the seed. You can look up on the 2 Tech, which you can ask the link for in the Discord, or you can dry out corn from a shucked ear of corn, which will take any sharp object like a sharp stone, flint knife, or an actual knife, and you just shuck it after a few, wait 4 minutes, it'll dry, and then you can use flint chip, flint knife, or normal knife. You see right there, that little tiny dot came off. That's a seed. That's a corn seed that you can plant, which, like I showed you already how to do the deep till row. So those are some useful things. You can plant, harvest, and shuck corn to make dried corn, because dried corn is used in a lot of animal feeds and some foods like stew and feeding pigs, cows, geese, and hens. I think that's all the animals that you can feed with corn. So I know sheep. Sheep do something else, and alpacas need apples. Alright. So those are some things that are relatively simple that you can do, that are useful. And another thing you can do, I meant to show this as well, because I myself actually need pottery here. I'm going to show you how to make simple pottery. So you'll take basket or baskets and, you know, like a cart or whatever, and you're going to want to look for this purple biome. You're going to want to be careful in this purple biome, however, because there are wild boars, and they will kill you if they touch you, basically, unless you're standing on an object. So, you're going to look for this thing, clay deposit. It just looks like a pile of brown, similar to a fertile soil plot, but in this purple biome. So you're going to start taking clay off of it. You'll get 5 pieces of clay from it, unless you also bring a shovel, which will shovel that up and make another piece of clay. So we're just going to get a bunch of clay, and we're going to head home. Again, be careful, as there are wild boars in this biome, and they will kill you, and then, you know, you're dead. You die when you're dead, you know that, right? Alright. And also, again, be careful in this gray biome, because wolves, as you can see. And if you don't really know how to find a purple biome, yellow is almost always, basically always touching purple. And yellow, what usually happens is something like this. You see green, purple, yellow, gray, and then inside gray there's the special biomes such as jungle, winter, and desert, but there's not really any desert over here. My desert's on the other side. So keep that in mind when you're trying to find specific biomes. It's green, purple, yellow, gray. That's generally how biomes spawn. Of course, there's small little patches of biomes that spawn a little bit oddly, such as this right here where you have purple but no green. That's just because it's a tiny little patch. So we're going to go over to the forge area. We're going to take all our clay. And I'm going to show you how to make pottery. Relatively simple. Oh my god, wrong thing. Clicking everything all wrong in separate order. Okay. I'm actually doing this because I need more pottery in my base here. I'm gonna grab something to eat before I do this too. That'll be fine. I'm be on some LSD for a minute. Okay. I can't. There we go. If you haven't realized yet, there are drugs and alcohol in this game. So if you take them, because you can get high off of mushroom soup in the game, and I just ate a bunch of mushroom soup, so now I'm tripping like balls right now. It'll pass, it's all good. So right now, I'll wait until I'm not tripping. Alright. So all of these clay, I just kind of separated them and put them in separate spots. What you're going to want to get is a stone, a round stone. You're going to use it once on it to get a bowl, twice on it to get a plate. And you're going to do 2 bowls together to make a pot. And there you go. Those are the 3 kind of pottery items that you can make that are useful in the village. You can also make a clay nozzle here. What did I just hit? You can also just make a clay nozzle for the bellows, but that's not really that important. If you really want to make one for your own seed, you can look it up on the tech tree, which you can, again, get the link in the Discord, or you can find it on the official website. Hi, Angel. You want pet? You want to be petted? I'm trying to make a video. I wonder if they could hear you purring right now. Okay, I'll pet you while I'm doing this. So yeah, a round stone. I'm just going to, what did I need? I needed everything. Mommy's busy. Go. I said the bed, not me. You're really purring loudly. Yes, you're cute, but go to the bed. You're tangled up in the cord. Really? I needed more pottery. Okay, fine. If you're gonna be like that, I'll hold you while I forge, I guess. One-handed. You're making life difficult. That's my face. Be nice. Okay, so to holding a cat. You're gonna need kindling, you're gonna need the axe, that's my face, chill your pill. You're gonna need these tongs, and as I said, kindling goes in the adobe kiln. You're gonna need long straight shaft on the fire, and I'm gonna have to do this freaking one-handed. Hello, cat. You're gonna use the wood-filled adobe kiln. You're gonna right-click to pick up that. You're gonna right directly onto the forge that's firing, and I'm using my freaking one-handed right now because the cat won't leave me alone. You can stack them in 2 hours, 1 life, but you can't do that in 1 hour, 1 life. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish at this speed. I did not stack that. Should have stacked because you put 6 on there. Yeah, I wasn't going to be able to finish. Anyway, you can do that. Purring so loudly. Then you can just, if you have time, you can add the adobe just to make charcoal. And that is something simple you can do inside a village if you're a bit of a new player and you don't really know what you're doing. Farming, making more materials for advanced players, and then you could watch said advanced players use those materials to kind of learn what you're doing. Yes, cat. Why are you so heavy? Is it because I've been feeding you Sheba? Alright, have a great day, everybody. I'm going to end the video just like that.